Alright, so today I figured I'd make a video on how to install the IPD lowering springs. I already did one side, I'm about to do the other side, and I noticed there's really no videos on it at all online. So today I'm going to help you guys out, hopefully figure out how to put these lowering springs in. So let's get it. The only tools you will need is your basic socket sets. You might need some 3/8 half-inch drives. I would really recommend an impact. And really the only obscure thing you might need is this Allen kind of bit, a 10. I don't know what that's measured in, to be honest. I think probably 10 millimeter if I were to assume, but that's the only oddball thing you might need. But an impact will save you so much time on this job, especially if you have very, very rusty bolts and you haven't touched anything in a long time. Let's get it. All right, to start off with, we're going to remove our brake caliper, and that is where our handy dandy Allen set, or I don't even know what you want to call this. This is where this will come in handy, because this is what we'll put into the brake caliper bracket right here to take this off. So I really recommend having an impact for this because it is tough to get off with a ratchet. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove our caliper. I just did brakes not too long ago on this thing, so it shouldn't be that hard to get off, but okay, we might have to get a screwdriver on it. There we go, we're making a little progress there. Cool. Okay. Oh man, those are on there good. I just did brakes not too long ago on this. Okay. So we're gonna hang this right here. I recommend getting you some zip ties to hold up your caliper onto the lower control arm there. I have these really, really cheap zip ties from Temu. FYI, do not buy zip ties from Temu. Just go to your local Harbor Freight or Walmart or whatever. Do not buy anything off of Temu. Please, for the love of God. These, you don't even have to cut these. You just have to give them a slight pull whenever you're done. All right, next thing we're going to do, it's best to remove it. I mean, because it just causes more weight in the end. We're going to remove this rotor right here. Now, usually what you would have on your 240 or 740 or 940, you would have a little screw that retains the rotor in right here. I don't know what size it is, to be honest, but I don't have that. Took them out long ago and don't know where they went, to be honest, to fit some aftermarket wheels on this thing that didn't have that hole. So what we're gonna do is just take our trusty dusty Walmart hammer and give her a couple taps. Now, for whatever reason, if you want to avoid this step, that's totally fine. Especially if you got really shot rotors like I do, and you just don't want to pull them off right yet because you need to replace them later. That's totally fine. It's just going to cause extra weight, but I'm going to remove them because I don't want that extra weight since I'm doing this by myself. All right, now that we got our braking components out of the way, we're going to work on taking our tie rod off, and as I see, I might need a new one of these. So, quite honestly, if this thing has to sit for a little bit while I wait on parts, not too big of a deal, as long as everything is safe and done right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove this. I'm going to use my impact on it. If you don't have an impact, get a cheater bar or something ready if it's been sitting there for a while. Luckily, my car is not too rusty. It came from California, so it's actually pretty clean up underneath. I don't fight too many bolts on it, but the 240 I have, for example, it's been in Illinois almost all of its life, and it does not like to have bolts come off very easily. So let's get this off. This is going to be an 18 millimeter that you're working with right here. Piece of cake. Now, I do not have a pickle fork or anything like that, so unfortunately, I'm going to have to whip out the hammer on this one. Stand by, because this might take a little bit. I've only got two hands. All right, now we got our tie rod mostly up and out of the way. So now we're going to work on our sway bar link right here. We're going to need to take this off. And this is an 18 millimeter that we're going to be using. So I'm going to take this off. Easy. Milwaukee, please sponsor me. All right, just to get it out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and get our ABS sensor out. If you don't have ABS, don't worry about this step. But right here, we're gonna use, I don't have the socket for this, so I just have this thing, but we're gonna go ahead and use this. I'm not sure exactly what size it is. I assume it would be 3/16, I believe. But we're gonna go ahead and stick this in here. There we go. All right, now here comes the intimidating part. So basically, we're gonna be removing these two bolts that are holding in the strut right here. So this is a preloaded strut. You don't have to worry about this all coming apart in your face and all that sorts of stuff. So don't worry about that. Everything is still held together by this right here and what's up top up there. So don't worry about that. So we're gonna be removing these two bolts, the ones on the other side that holds the strut into the lower control arm right up by the ball joint. So we're going to be using an impact on this. I thought I needed an extension, but I guess not. You want to take this off? Oh, come on. All right. Now, so for this, I can't really get my impact into there. The extension is making it too long to where it'd bomb out on my garage floor. So what I'm going to do is beat in my brake shield a little bit. Don't worry, that'll bend right back out. It's not that serious. So we're gonna go ahead and zip this off. Come on. There we go. One out. The other side did not have any of this thread locker, or this might be anti-seize, I'm not too sure. But the other side did not have this, so likely this was blown out at some point and they had to replace it. So FYI. Alright, flip this other side. Gonna go ahead and get this side out. Oh, come on. Get back on there. Alright. Come on, get out of there. Uh-oh. There we go. Alright. So now essentially your whole bottom of your strut is completely free from your lower control arm as soon as you relieve the tension. So depending on how this goes, you can most likely just take a screwdriver, wedge it in here, and bend up on it. Maybe. Wedge in here somewhere. Okay. There we go. We just broke free there. Oh, darn it. Okay. Wedge it in here. And what you're going to do, as you pull down on this, where your ball joint's at, you're going to pull your strut out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Oh, darn it. All right, that was easy. So basically you'll need two hands for that, and you're going to need to pry down on this, make the control arm go down, and then pull this towards you. So now we get to go to the top of the car by up front, or up top where the strut connects. So what we're going to need for this is a 15 millimeter. We're going to be zipping off these two right here. This one and this one. We don't worry about this one yet. This will be whenever we take the spring off. So I'll go ahead and get my impact ready. Probably going to need an extension for this. Just going to go ahead and get my 6-inch one out. Oh, come on. Get on there. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and zip these off real quick. All right. We're not gonna completely take them all the way off because this is gonna want to immediately fall down as soon as you zip both of those off. So we're not gonna take them all the way out yet. So as you see it, as I release this one, oh, well, maybe not. I'll say the last one, it just completely fell down on me. So there we go. So this is going to want to fall down on you. I did not mean to take that out all the way. So what you're going to want to do, I'm going to need two hands for this, so I won't be able to record this part. But you're going to get down here, hold your strut, and then take this the rest of the way out, and then pull everything on out. Oh no, where did everything go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so now that we got it out of the car pretty much, there's only one way we're going to be able to do this. So you're going to need to pick up one of these tools from Harbor Freight or AutoZone. AutoZone has a rental service to where you can pick these up, use them, and then return them. So what I got going on over here, I had to take them off because it was getting wedged in between the spring and I couldn't get them off. But, oops. But essentially, it's almost like a clamp. Okay. This is what it is right here that I'm working with. So these will pretty much compress the springs. You can either use a ratchet or an impact on them. Personally, I would use an impact on them because it's so much more easier. But they'll pretty much compress the springs on both sides to where you can safely take off this top nut right here to be able to release this to put your new springs in. So I would definitely pick one up. Please do not just free ball it and take that nut off and have it explode. Don't put zip ties on it. Don't do none of that shit. This is $40. If anything, if you know you're only going to use it once, buy it, use it, and be like, oh, it didn't work for what I needed. I didn't need it in the end. You know, it wasn't the issue. Whatever. Just return it to Harbor Freight within 30 days or however long the return policy is, or wherever you buy it from. And yeah, if you know you're never going to do this job again. You won't need them for the rear from what I know. I don't think you need them for the rear. So I should have a video covered for those. It'll be in a separate video, but yeah. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and get this set up and I'll show you how this works. All right. So now that we got our whole strut assembly going right here, so what you're going to need is a 19 millimeter or a 20 millimeter for the specific set I bought from Harbor Freight. I was using a 20 millimeter. I didn't even know it was a 19 millimeter, but I came into the issue where this was pretty much grinding up against where this was, and I couldn't get a socket on there, so I had to use a ratcheting wrench on it, or a wrench, and I found out it was actually a 19 millimeter, but I was using a 20 millimeter on it, so a 19 will work. But this is essentially how you're going to set it up. So you got these safety pins right here that will hold it in place if it ever shifts around, moves around, or whatever. So these slide in and out. So what you're going to do is you're going to try to be pretty well even as possible. That don't look too even because this side is pretty compressed compared to the other one, because I was just getting this one started. It's going to take me a little longer. I didn't run into the issue on that side, but I just kind of wanted to keep it straight to kind of make it look more simple. So what we got going on here is we're gonna compress this one down more than what we got this one going. As you see, they are not exactly aligned because the spring is sitting at a different rate. But we're gonna compress this one down a little bit more, work on this one, work on this one, work on this one, and work on this one until we get the spring down compressed enough to where we can get it shoved down to where we can take this nut off right here. This is going to be a 24 millimeter that we have to take off. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start working on this. I'm going to do this off camera because it's going to take me quite a bit. All right, so now that we got these safely compressed down, we can go ahead and start working on getting this nut off. You just got all the stuff to say, don't you, Blue? Hi, buddy. All right, so we're going to go ahead and work on getting this off. Like I said, this is a 24 millimeter. If you don't have this, you might want to run to Home Depot. I'll put in the description on what all tools you might need, just in case your Volvo is your only car and that's the only way you can go to pick up tools. So yeah, I'll list everything you might need in the description for you. So we're gonna go ahead and release this, but we're gonna run into an issue and I'll show you. All right, so now we are safe to remove this this bolt right here holding the strut and at the top. That cat was... All right, so now we got everything done to be able to remove this bolt right here. We compressed both of these. They're down a decent amount. So we know we can release this now. But, so we got this turning, right? It keeps continuously turning. It's not loosening. Well, that's because this is rotating right here. So what we're gonna go ahead and do, we're gonna grab our vice grips that we have, and you're gonna wanna get this at the very top right here, somewhere very close to the top, because you don't wanna damage anything else. Just get them to where you can give them a good snug. Oh, I could barely get that with one hand. All right, just get them to where you can get a good snug, and then let it rotate. And then we're, as you can see, we're loosening that nut up now. Okay. So, we can remove our vice grips now. And now, we can work on taking these off. Don't be scared of this because it is not going anywhere, okay? As long as those safety pins are in, which these on this design I don't really like because they like to fall out. I feel like there should be a cotter pin right here or something like that holding them in. But as long as one of them's holding tension good, it shouldn't do anything catastrophic. So we're gonna go ahead and start working on this one, then that one. It's just a back and forth cycle on what you want to work on. So we're gonna go ahead and get those loosened up. I'm gonna go ahead and do this off camera. All right, so we have gotten these loosened up now. They're ready to be free. This just comes completely out. So if everything just comes apart on you and you happen to forget where exactly everything goes, this right here, if I can peel it off, there we go. So this right here will be the first to go on there. Next up is your washer that holds in your the threads to your shock right there. And then the next right here, if I can get it out. Oh wait, no, it's on that side. Sorry. Will be this right here. And this is what that this bolt will, or that nut will go into wherever I put it, right here. That's where that will kind of clamp down onto. So if you happen to lose order and you're unsure, that's how that goes back on. So we're gonna go ahead and get this taken off right here, and we're gonna fit our new spring on. All right, so now we got the spring pretty much in now. So you're gonna wanna line it up with this right here. It's gonna turn all up until you hit about, come on. Well, just kind of get it in place right there the best you can, just so you don't have any camber issues or alignment issues or anything like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and start getting this compressed and ready to get onto here. So you're gonna need to recompress this to get this spring to be able to go down so you can get your cap back on. And then from there, you just put it back in, and it's just a repeated process of what I showed you earlier on how to take everything off. So it is super easy. I originally thought of it gonna be a big headache, but actually this is really, really easy. So don't be afraid of this. Just go ahead and try it out. As long as you got the tools, you can do it. All right, so it took me a little bit to get this one aligned and everything. I did my best I could to try to get everything in its spot that it needs to go into. I made a little scuff on the spring, but no big deal. So we got it right up in this bushing where we need it, and this right here is gonna have a little bit of a gap right there, but that's okay. No big deal there. So we're gonna put this back in the car now. If you run into the issue of you put this back on and it won't exactly go in correctly, you can rotate this ever so slightly to be able to put it in the way you need it to. So we're gonna go ahead and put this back in the car. I won't be able to show that because, like I said, I only got 2 hands to be able to do this. So we're gonna go ahead and get this in, and I'll show you from there on out. All right, so the way I did this was I pretty much lined up the 2 holes, shoved it through, put one nut on one side to relieve the stress of having to pull up on it while putting this back in, and then pretty much get the other one and tighten them down in a pattern like this so that one's not lopsided from the other one. They should basically both look the same. If you haven't started on that side, they should look the same as that. So yeah, that pretty much covers everything. So just follow in reverse how I disassemble all of this, and yeah, I hope that helps you guys out. I appreciate you watching the video, and take care, guys. Good luck with your Volvo.